Welcome to Top Shelf Men. I'm Reese. So today we are going to talk about diet and nutrition. The reality is that you simply cannot be a top shelf man if you are fat or skinny, or worst of all, skinny fat. As for me, at my lowest, most blue-pilled points in my life, I've actually been over 260 pounds at 6 feet tall. Currently, as you see me, I'm 182 pounds at 6 feet tall. I haven't gotten shorter. So I can talk to you about what has worked for me with weight loss and keeping the weight off. Now look, I am in no way qualified to give nutritional advice. I am simply telling you guys what I have noticed about the food and culture in the United States. Now, we all know that over half the United States population is overweight or obese. So it's no coincidence that the average frustrated chump has a big gut and big bitch tits. And most of these same fat guys parrot feminist talking points because they are simply estrogen dominant. And because of this estrogen dominant, they are betas from all the fat in their body producing excess estrogen. As you all know, guys dominant in estrogen are sensitive, emotional, risk averse, and docile. In other words, they behave and think like your typical modern woman. The reality is that it is no coincidence that the food we consume has been loaded with high fructose corn syrup, soy, and toxic preservatives in processed foods that have turned most men into sick, feminized betas. Logically, sweet treats and pastries are made to be consumed seldomly by men, and primarily meant to be consumed by women and children. Here in the United States, go to any supermarket or grocery store, and sugar-laden processed foods are everywhere. They are conveniently packaged to be consumed to be on the go and full of chemicals, making the food toxic enough for mold not to even want to grow on it. With these food products take years to expire, but they're perfectly safe for the average fat ass to consume. Sure, a lot of guys trying to lose weight don't eat candy and sweet garbage, but they still struggle with their weight, right? This is because most men don't read nutrition labels. Most meats, condiments, and ready-to-eat meals are loaded with sugars, soy, and carbohydrates from the most well-known food producers. If you are unplugged from the matrix and you are skeptical of government health mandates and in general the pharmaceutical industry, then I'm also telling you to also be skeptical of the companies selling you your food. Now, back to me. The way I kept the weight off without doing cardio every single day, aside from doing exercises of weightlifting, I have accomplished this by being on keto. The goal on keto is to lower your insulin as much as possible and avoid spiking it by avoiding sugars and carbohydrates. Pretty much, you stick to unprocessed meats, vegetables, and unprocessed fats. To get a little technical, sugar spikes insulin greatly, which tells your body to burn sugar, carbohydrates, and store fats. And that's what makes you fat, because you're storing it because you have too much insulin in your system. So when you eat sugars mixed with fats, they taste good. They could be things like donuts, cookies, breads, candies, etc. All the crap that, like cola, juices, all sorts of foods that are staples of American diets. And the problem is that the sugar in these food products spike your insulin, making your body store the fat you are consuming. On keto, eating meals mostly consisting of fat and protein will cause your liver to produce much less insulin, causing your body to produce ketones instead. And the ketones, they tell your body to burn fat as fuel instead of sugar. That way you burn fat in your body instead of storing it in your stomach, your ass, or your chest. When I was younger, I used to do a ton of cardio just about every day to stay trim. But as I've gotten older, it got harder to stay trim with just cardio. Then I realized I had to make a drastic change to my diet. This led me to do research, and I came across keto, and I have been on it for 2 years now. When on keto, you have to be very careful with processed fats and oils such as seed oils and soy. Now, soy is pretty self-explanatory. We all know the memes. But the reason for this is because soy acts as a estrogen when consumed, turning fat men into even bigger blubbering women. If you read nutrition labels, you'll see soy is being used in everything. So prevent yourself from turning into a hormonal woman. Don't consume anything with soy and read all the nutrition labels for everything you put down your throat. In the sense of healthy fats and oils, you want to stick to olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, if you can afford it, grass-fed butter. As I've adopted this masculine diet of all of God's delicious animals and vegetables sauteed in the rendered fat of those delicious animals, I've become more sensitive to the sugar and soy in modern food products. Now, you'll realize that these garbage processed foods actually do destroy your palate because they put so much sugar in everything that the average beta is desensitized to sugar and just craves it more and more. You know, that and the soy. The soy rewrites your brain to crave more sweet and estrogenic foods. Now, top shelf men follow these rules. Number 1, learn to read nutritional labels. Number 2, make sure your diet is low carb, 0 sugar, and 0 soy. And finally, number 3, stop eating like a woman, a child, and worst of all, stop eating like a fat beta. Thank you for watching this video to the end. In the description, I have linked the 2 playlists from 2 other channels that helped me get into keto and answer a lot of my questions when I started out on this diet. I would suggest you do your own research and find the diet system that is right for you. And remember, I always say you make systems, not goals. If you have any great diet advice, questions, or things you want to share, leave a comment below. And as always, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe this video to help other men hear this message. This is Reese. See you next video.